This is Jeff Altman, Big Game Hunter. Welcome to Job Search Radio.
Are you looking for a new job or interested in leveling up? Job Search Radio is your go-to resource for insider tips on job hunting and growing your career. Here's your host, Jeff Altman.
Hi, this is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and you're listening to episode 408 of Job Search Radio. This show is the number 2 show in iTunes about job search, behind my other one, which is called No BS Job Search Advice. That show has about 900 episodes at this point. This one has over 400. I believe this is episode 409 of the show. And today we're going to talk about being over 50 in job hunting. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a reminder for those of you who are at that age. Hope you find it helpful. Please give the show 5 stars on iTunes or Stitcher. And if we're not connected on LinkedIn, send a connection request to me at linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. For most of you, my network is far bigger than yours, so you can take advantage of my network of resources as part of connecting with me. Again, linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. Mention that you listen to the show because I love connecting with my listeners, although I don't do it with recruiters. And let's get going. If you look at this face, you'll figure out that I'm over 50. Matter of fact, I'm over 60 at this point. And I clearly recognize that discrimination exists. And I'm also aware that those who discriminate often don't realize that they're discriminating. So this is true for age. Sometimes it's true for race. Sometimes it's true for national origin. But today I'm going to be dealing with age. Now, the thing I want to remind you of is that if you're turned down for a job, often it doesn't have to deal with age. Often it has to deal with skills. Often it has to deal with interview technique. It doesn't always deal with age. Now, I know it's very tempting that when you see the 19-year-old manager, I'm using a stereotype here just as readily as they might use a stereotype of you as 65. I'm 64 as of this video, by the way. That they might use a stereotype of you as part of their bias. But let's work with a 19-year-old manager interviewing you in your 50s or 60s for a position. And as soon as you see them, your jaw drops. Mentally, you go, oh, I'm not going to get this. And thus you don't deliver the goods. You don't try to impress them. Now, the reality is it's probably not going to be the 19-year-old manager unless, of course, you're interviewing for a greeter job at a gas station. But the more likely scenario is you're meeting a manager in your 30s and 40s, you're in your 50s or 60s, you see them, they look younger at you, you become concerned that they might discriminate, and then you start jumping through all sorts of hoops and don't act naturally and perform like you normally could. If they cover territory in the interview that you don't know, sometimes I've heard candidates talk about how they were biased, when in point of fact, they were actually trying to measure a particular skill that you had and whether you had that skill, and you didn't. And to me, that's a fair reason for being turned down. As it was when you were interviewing people and you listen to them talk about how they could learn what it was that you were looking for, and it didn't wash with you, it's not going to wash with them. You need to learn the things that in your market area firms look for, that hiring managers look for, and deliver the goods in your interview. And again, age discrimination definitely exists. No question about it. And you can't get fixated on the age of the hiring manager and basically resign yourself to being doomed in the interview. You have to win every interview. You have to demonstrate your knowledge and experience. You can't have attitude. Hey, I did this 20 years ago. That kind of attitude that suggests to them that you're going to be a pain in the rear throughout because you're a know-it-all. Again, for them, it's a new situation. For you, you may have done it 5 times before. you just demonstrate that you can handle it with ease and grace. And if you get to the age question about how everyone in their organization is much younger, you can smile and say, at my age, that's pretty common. But what I learned a long time ago is to be supportive of people and their growth and their learning, to share what I know. And if they don't want to hear it, that's okay too. People go through their own process. So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, here's a few ways that you can follow up with me. First of all, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching from me, email me at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us, and in the subject line, put the word coaching. I'll get back in touch with you. We'll set up a time to speak for an introductory conversation. We'll see if it makes sense for us to work together. Generally, I work with people at a manager level and above. Next, if you're not at that level, the next best way to work with me is through JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. There I have curated information that you can watch, listen to, or read that's going to help you find work more quickly. Plus, you can ask me questions through the site. I'll be very happy to answer them. Next, if you're not sure about your resume or your LinkedIn profile or both, I do critiques of them, and you can find out more about them at thebiggamehunter.us, as well as what I call a job search makeover, where you hire me, we sit down for 60, 90 minutes or so, we go through everything that you're doing in your search, maybe we do a mock interview, and when all is said and done, you are much better prepared to go forward. I have a lot of services like that. Again, you can find out about them at thebiggamehunter.us. So I'll be back soon with more. In the meantime, have a great day. Take care.
If you would like to have Jeff give you advice about your job search, you'll love JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. This site has all of Jeff's books and guides to job hunting available free. The ability to have Jeff answer your questions, plus podcasts and videos that'll help you with all the different parts of a job search, including writing a winning resume and cover letter, great answers to interview questions, how to negotiate effectively, whether you want an easy way or want to get tough, plus a community of people like you who you can get advice from. The site again is JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. That's JobSearchCoachingHQ.com.